Hello, and welcome to New Student Preview of Graduate and Professional Studies at St. Mary's College. As the title suggests, my goal in the next 30 minutes is to provide you with some insights into the student experience at St. Mary's and hopefully make your transition just a little easier. Even if you haven't finalized your decision yet, and SMC is one of several schools you're considering, this presentation should give you a more complete picture of St. Mary's and the value we provide beyond our highly regarded academic programs. This webinar was developed by the Office of Graduate and Professional Studies, or as we fondly refer to ourselves, GPS. My name is Jane Joyce, and I'm responsible for recruitment and marketing. This presentation is designed to be an overview of facilities, resources, and services available to graduate and professional students, but is not intended to replace the orientations that will be conducted directly by your individual programs of study prior to your start date. Here's a summary of the topics we will cover. Key resources and services, how to get around campus, mundane things like paying your bill or setting up email, and critical things like where can I buy food, or where can I relax for a few minutes when there's a break, or I need a little excitement, what's fun to do around here? And of course, we'll have time for questions at the end. Here's a list of facilities, services, and resources available on campus. I'm also showing you a campus map that clearly labels important locations. You can download it from the SMC website. Some of these resources, like the business office, the financial aid office, or the library, you will interact with by phone, email, or in person on a regular basis throughout your time here at St. Mary's. Others, like the Counseling Center or Public Safety, perhaps only in certain situations that may come up along the way. The main thing is that you remember that these resources and services exist and know that you can access them when the need arises. So as you look at this map, my cursor is on the chapel, what we call the chapel lawn. And this is the drive leading into the school where the guard station is, where my cursor is right now. And the best way to orient yourself to campus is by looking at the chapel, which would be directly in front of you as you pause at the guard station at the front of campus. So everything sort of, that's your sort of central reference point. If you turn right, you are turning right on De La Salle Drive. If you turn left, you're turning left on De La Salle Drive. This De La Salle Drive is a complete loop road that goes all around campus. So moving on to the next page, these are a few of, here's a visual of the chapel as seen from the guard station and the chapel lawn. And what you'll find is that most of the classroom buildings are surround the chapel lawn. So where my cursor is here, you can see just behind the tree is Garaventa. Next to Garaventa is Dante. And then over on the left-hand side of the picture, out of view, is Brousseau Hall, Galileo Hall, and Seychelles Hall. And on the far right, also out of view, is our newest campus building, which is this larger picture on the left, Filippi Academic Hall, which is actually where many of graduate programs are held. So if you're directionally challenged, as I am, as I said before, the best way to orient yourself to our campus is to identify where you are in relationship to the chapel, which is the first thing you see as you drive down St. Mary's Parkway. And again, whether you turn left or right at the guard station, you will be on De La Salle Drive. Now, one thing I didn't mention, besides the classroom buildings, is again, looking at this facing the chapel, on the far left out of view is also Filippi Hall, which is where you'll find administrative services such as the business office, the registrar, etc. And at the very back of campus, directly behind the chapel, you will find the SOTA Activity Center, which is where many of our performances, presentations, and events are held, as well as McKeon Pavilion, where our St. Mary's basketball team plays their home games, which you wouldn't want to miss one of those if you can take those in. Your SMC photo ID card is your key to all services and events on campus. Your SMC email address is where all your campus communications will be sent. As I'm sure you know, you can set it up so that it forwards on to your personal email address if that is your preference. You will need to have a parking permit to park on campus, which is free, yes, believe it or not, free, at least for now, from Public Safety. And just be sure to park in designated student parking areas and not in the lots for faculty or staff, which is a surefire way of getting on the wrong side of your professor. Just joking, but still. And last but not least is Gale Express, which you will become very familiar with as you register for class, check on grades, or pay your tuition. Here is all the contact information for the Student Accounts Department in the Business Office, which, as I mentioned, is located in Philippi Hall. They're there to help, so take advantage of the fact that you are attending a small school like St. Mary's, where you can talk to someone person to person to discuss a problem or a concern or to ask a question. Here is a closer look at Gale Express, which I just mentioned. This is the site where you will log in to pay your tuition bill. You will be notified via SMC email when your bill is available to be viewed and paid. In addition to your tuition bill, Gale Express is also where you can search and register for classes, check your financial aid award, and view your grades. And even now, before you become a student, you can log into Gale Express as a guest to look at what kinds of classes are offered at what times of the day, basically the schedule for the current term or the next consecutive term. There are two types of student loans, unsubsidized direct and Graduate Plus. The direct loan maximum is $20,500 per academic year or $138,500 lifetime. There is no maximum for the Grad Plus loan, which can be used to bridge the gap between the direct loan and the total cost of your attendance, including, if you wish, living expenses. You're not eligible for Grad Plus if you have adverse credit history like a bankruptcy, late payer status, defaulting on a loan, or excessive credit card debt. You need to apply only once at the beginning of your program for the direct loan, but you must reapply every year for Grad Plus. Remember, if your program offers a Jan term, there is no regular disbursement of financial aid at that time. You need to arrange for those funds to be added to the preceding fall term disbursement or the following spring term disbursement. And be sure to talk to the business office directly to make sure they understand your situation and that they know that you have applied for financial aid and that it is coming. Don't assume that they know that. Everyone should complete the FAFSA, which stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This is in case your financial circumstances change mid-year. Even if you don't intend to take out a loan now, some need-based scholarships will require you to complete a FAFSA. A new FAFSA must be submitted at the beginning of every calendar year, but you are funded based on the courses taken during the academic year, which runs July 1st through June 30th. So for example, if you're starting in the spring term, that spring is still part of the academic year 2015-16. But the summer term is the header term for the new academic year, which is 2016-17. Submitting a FAFSA automatically initiates the loan process once you've been accepted to your program of study. All you need to do. And know that the entire financial aid process can be handled conveniently via phone or email. And also, excuse me, be assured that all full-time graduate students should qualify for $20,500 a year unless you previously defaulted on a federal loan. Doesn't matter what your income level is, everyone can qualify for this direct loan of $20,500. In terms of the types and sources of scholarships, here are a few: school-specific or program-specific. For example, here at St. Mary's, the School of Education, Graduate Business, the MFA in Creative Writing, the MA in Kinesiology, and the MFA in Dance all offer partial scholarships for incoming or current students, or in some cases, current students. Details can be found on their program website. St. Mary's College offers assistantships or fellowships in the MFA in Writing and the MA in Kinesiology programs. Details regarding these can be found on their program websites. Professional associations or organizations in your field of study, for example, California Association of School Counselors, the National Association of School Psychologists, or the American Association of University Women are just a few examples. Those who fall into disadvantaged categories may be offered scholarships. Minority groups, for example, there are scholarships from the Hispanic Association of Schools and Colleges. Single mothers, the disabled, veterans, women returning to the workforce are just a few examples of such categories. And be sure to search the web for scholarships. FastWeb, Peterson's, Student Scholarship Search, gradcu.com are some examples. When you research scholarship opportunities, be sure to note the application deadlines and award timeframes. Remember, you can apply for scholarships, but being awarded one is not a given. So make sure you've applied for a loan amount sufficient to cover your needs. Then if you're awarded a scholarship, you can always decline the disbursement of the loan for a particular term. Once you finish your program and it's time to repay your loan, usually 6 months after graduation, there are income-driven repayment plans designed for those in repayment experiencing partial economic hardship because their outstanding federal student loan debt is higher than their annual income or represent a significant portion of their annual income. You must apply for these alternative repayment options. If you don't do anything, you will automatically be placed in standard repayment. Income-based repayment coupled with working for 10 years in a school, hospital, the military, government, really anything in the nonprofit sector will qualify as eligible employment for public service loan forgiveness. And to get more information on financial aid, register for one of my monthly financial aid webinars. You can find the registration link for this on the Graduate and Professional Studies calendar webpage. And my next financial aid webinar, in which I go into much more detail, it will be held on February 26th from 12:15 to 1 o'clock. Through the St. Mary's Business Office, you can also have the option to set up a monthly tuition payment plan to make it more manageable. You can find the contract on the Business Office's website, but remember, it must be submitted before the start of each term. So this is a situation where maybe you have the funds, but maybe not all at once. So you'd like to have your payments broken into smaller, more manageable amounts. Also new this year is the SALT Financial Literacy Program, which is available to you throughout your time at St. Mary's and also as an alum. This value-added service provided by the Financial Aid Office is an online tool that offers help with managing your finances and loan repayment, as well as loan debt counseling and advocacy. It even has a job, internship, and scholarship search function. And this is something that not every school has available for its students. This is truly a differentiator for St. Mary's. We have two primary dining options on campus, Oliver Hall and Cafe Louie. Oliver Hall offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the week, and brunch and dinner on weekends. The late night dining program offered nightly gives students a break from studying and a place to gather with friends and have a sandwich, grab a burger, or enjoy an ice cream. In the morning, Cafe Louie has fresh brewed selection of Starbucks coffees and a variety of fresh baked pastries. For lunch, choose from a delicious assortment of to-go salads or sandwiches. And you can also download Flex Dollars onto your student ID card to receive a 20% discount when purchasing food at either of these locations, and even some off-campus spots in Moraga. We are very excited about a new space that we have opened on campus, specifically serving our graduate and professional student population. Our new Graduate and Professional Student Resource Center, located conveniently between Oliver Hall and Cafe Louie, will offer offers a comfortable lounge area, a study area, and a private technologically equipped conference room that comfortably seats 16 students for group meetings, project collaboration, and workshops. It will be possible to reserve this space in advance. And we have a grand opening of this new space on February 11th from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m. So feel free to stop by and check it out. On that day, we'd love to talk to you, the GPS staff, and we will also have groups from various service groups on campus, the library, and some of the other service providers on campus will be present with a table where they will have information for you about their services. So I encourage you to stop by. That's again February 11th, which is a Thursday, from 3:30 to 7:30. Nearly 3 years after its proposal, a new recreation center that gives St. Mary's College students a place to exercise and hang out opened its doors last spring. There's a beautiful pool, climbing wall, 3 indoor courts for basketball, soccer, and volleyball, a fitness center, and rooms for yoga, dance, and spinning classes. This new recreation center has plenty to offer for all of our college community. There's even a Jamba Juice located inside offering fresh fruit smoothies as well as an assortment of to-go salads or sandwiches. Truly, this rivals any private fitness club that you would ever encounter in terms of just what's offered inside its walls. So be sure to check that out. This is a list of additional campus resources available to our students. I'll comment on a few of them. One of the great things about our library is the level of assistance our librarians provide. You can call them, email or chat or text them, or meet with them in person when you need help with a search strategy, a topic for a research assignment, or with the selection of appropriate electronic resources and reference materials. The Writing Center is a welcoming, friendly environment that is student-run and student-oriented. Their advising strategies have shown tangible results in terms of the quality of student writing. Their goal is to make writing accessible and manageable for all students, and they are located on the first floor of De La Salle Hall. And of course, our graduate and professional students are invited to utilize the services of the Career Center. Those who would like to get involved in a leadership opportunity on campus, we have the Graduate and Professional Student Advisory Council. with the acronym of GPSAC. It provides input to campus leadership regarding the student experience and how it can be improved. This organization also helps to build community across the various GPS programs. Also, the Academic Honor Council, which reviews cases of alleged academic dishonesty, is another opportunity for GPS students to make a contribution to the campus community. And here is a list representing the icing on the cake when you attend St. Mary's. Let me highlight a few of these. If you're inspired by images, by soft brush strokes or bold, bright colors, check out the St. Mary's College Museum of Art. The museum is located behind the chapel and across the street from the Soda Center. Our Legacy Garden is a half-acre garden plot which grows pesticide-free food for the student dining hall. It's located behind one of the residence halls in the back of campus. The garden is maintained by student and faculty volunteers, and we regularly have a farmer's market where produce from the garden is sold at very reasonable prices. We have our own observatory too, believe it or not. The Geisberger Observatory is located in the hills behind St. Mary's campus. It's a great place to get away from the commotion of campus life and be a little closer to the stars. Walking and hiking trails, the Lafayette-Moraga Regional Trail is a nearly 8-mile linear park that parallels St. Mary's Road through Lafayette-Moraga. A portion of the trail lies directly across the road from SMC. If you walk about a quarter of a mile down, you'll find a little park, Moraga Commons, that includes places for a game of catch or tossing the frisbee. And there's also the Redwood Grove, located at the end of Gale Way on the very edge of St. Mary's campus. The Bertain Redwood Grove is surrounded by towering redwood trees and is an excellent place to study, write, or meditate. As a graduate or professional student, we know your desired outcome is clear: to successfully complete your program of study and attain that degree that will hopefully open new doors of opportunity in the future. And these are some pictures of our actual graduates and the cohorts, and also their families, their proud families, watching them on graduation day, which is held out on our field. If you have any questions now, please feel free to type them in, and I will attempt to answer them for the group that's online. Also, you'll be receiving a follow-up email from me providing an overview of what was covered in today's webinar. That should arrive tomorrow. Thank you, and I hope you found this session beneficial and that you feel better prepared to take full advantage of all that St. Mary's has to offer you as a graduate or professional student. We really look forward to seeing you around campus soon. Take care. So let me see if I have any questions from the group that I can answer. Yes, let's see here. Is a permit required on the weekends too? Yes. I mean, you should just get a parking permit in case you want to come to the library during the week. And there are times when the weekends, the parking lots are very full. So yes, I would say a parking permit would be advised to obtain that. And again, parking is free. If we have been accepted for the spring semester, when will we receive our login and student card access to facilities, etc.? Well, let's see, spring term starts the second week of February. So I would think that it should be any day now. And I would say if you haven't heard anything by February 1st, that you reach out to your program assistant and see, just double check with them as to when you will be notified. It's not a problem to be proactive on that. Let's see. Is there a Student Disability Center, and if so, is it open for graduate students? Yes, there is a Student Disability Center, and it is open for graduate students. You can find that on our website. Just search for SDS or Student Disability Services, and you can read about it there. Will you send a copy of this presentation, or can we access it again later for reference? I don't send a copy of my slides. As I mentioned, I do send out an email that summarizes some of the websites that I mentioned in this presentation. And I also have a recording of, I'm also recording this. So you can listen to it again. You would find that recording on the Graduate and Professional Studies website. If you go to the left-hand navigation and click on Student Resources, at the bottom of that page is the YouTube recording. And I should have that up. There's one up there now, but it's from a previous month's presentation. And since I update these slides and my script on a regular basis, I suggest you look at the most recent one, and I'll have that up later today. Okay. Sorry. This looks like, let me check here. Oh, wait, one more. Are most services such as the Rec Center and Career Services available on the weekend? The Rec Center is available on the weekend. You should check their website for their hours on the weekend. The Career Center, generally, I don't think they're operational on the weekend, only Monday through Friday. But you, again, go to their website, webpage, and just check for their hours. And I don't think it hurts to ask if it's possible to make an appointment with somebody on the weekend. And I will definitely provide that feedback that folks are asking if it might be possible to meet with somebody there on the weekend. Will the graduate student counseling be conducted in person or over the phone? Will the graduate student counseling be conducted in person or over the phone? Not sure exactly what you mean by counseling. Is this advising you about your program of study? That would be done in person. If you are talking about services offered through the counseling center, that would be in person. So I guess the answer is generally the counseling would be offered in person. Although if there's a distance issue, there's probably a way of arranging for it to be over the phone as well. You said the maximum financial aid a graduate can get is $138,500. Yes, that's a lifetime maximum for the Grad Plus loan. The direct loan is $20,500 per year, and the maximum of $138,500. Yes, and there is no maximum on the Grad Plus loan. Sorry about that. So direct loan, which is at a slightly lower interest rate, is the lifetime maximum of $138,500. There is no maximum on the Grad Plus loan. Is there an option to take graduate classes during the day? Some programs do offer daytime classes, sometimes on Saturdays. I know our counseling, in the School of Education, some of their classes are offered on Saturdays. Generally, though, Monday through Thursday, 4:15 to 7 or 7:15 to 10. And I know the MFA in Creative Writing, those classes are offered during the day. So you really need to, you could go, as I mentioned earlier, you could go on to Gale Express as a guest and look at some of the classes that are offered by the various programs and what time they're scheduled for, if you want to look for exactly you know, what might be available. Okay. Okay, I think that is the last question. Oh, I'm sorry. What is the website for Gale Express if you want to visit as a guest? I believe I send that out to you in the, I give you that in my email, but I'll double check. And if I didn't, I'll send an email to all of you with the login, the website address for Gale Express. And then you just, there's a link at the bottom of the page that says log on as guest. And then you'll be able to look at the various classes. Who is the person to contact if you want to meet with someone in person to go over financial aid planning? You can meet with me. I can give you a fair sort of an overview of the financial aid options, and that would be a good groundwork for then if you have more detailed questions that I can't answer, is then potentially setting something up with the financial aid office. You also, as I said, I'm offering a financial aid webinar next week, which will go into more detail than what I offered on today's webinar. And I would suggest that you might consider registering for that class if you're available between 12:15 and 1 on the 26th. If not, then you can contact me directly. You see my contact information on this last slide about setting up a time for you to come in and meet. Okay? Okay, there is a link for the recording, and if you were looking for, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page listed for student resources, not in the left-hand navigation, but on the actual page, there's a YouTube recording on the bottom. I can maybe send out a screenshot to all of you as well, if you're having trouble locating that. My classes on campus are only on Saturday. What is the feel of campus life on Saturdays? Well, actually, you know, it can be quite busy. The undergrad, you know, as far as, you know, the undergraduates are here during the regular school year, say from fall through spring. So it's, of course, a very busy time. We also have lots of events on campus, sporting events. And of course now with the rec center, there's a lot of activity there. We have performances in the theater. We have performances in the chapel. We have meetings and events up in the Soda Center. It can be very busy here on Saturday. So it's not going to be, if you're concerned about it being dead, that's not at all the case. It's a very vital campus, and we try to utilize it 24/7. Anything else? I'm not seeing any other questions at this time. Feel free, if you think of something after we hang up today, feel free to email me directly, and I'll be happy to respond to your question if I can, or refer you to the right person. All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I do really sincerely mean it when I say I hope you choose St. Mary's for your graduate and for professional studies, and I hope that you'll be joining us on campus real soon. Take care.